Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. Now we go over to the northern part of the country where some Kaduna residents are protesting a move by Governor Nasir El-Rufai to demolish what the government considers illegal structures, and it is generating controversy. This time, commercial printers in Kaduna metropolis are protesting plans by the government to reclaim the land where their shops are sited. According to the traders, they are concerned about the consequences of the eviction notice from the government on their livelihood.
Residents of Lokoja, Gwari and Muri roads in Kaduna metropolis on the streets protesting government's plan to demolish their shops. These are shop owners, mostly printers, whose shops have been marked for demolition by the Kaduna North local government. They say an eviction notice was served on them to vacate the area without seeking their opinion.
The quick notice that was served to us last week, which was backdated, and they just gave us just 2 weeks to vacate our individual businesses and places we earn our living, which is not comfortable for us.
They also claim that the land was allocated to them some 25 years ago by the state government to build their shops. But now they wonder why government will suddenly want to evict them from the same land where they earn their livelihood.
I want the government to realize that our profession is not a business that is like a petty trader, that if you give them a day or two days notice, they will just pack their hardware and put it in another place. These are heavy machines that need cranes and all heavy duties to vacate.
But this senator representing Kaduna Central thinks government should tread with caution in order not to put the citizens into severe hardship.
You can earmark a place, provide infrastructures there, and then tell them to move with a compensation. That is very fine for you to do. You didn't give them enough notice, and you simply moved bulldozers to destroy houses where people have gotten papers for the past 25, 30, and even 40 years. Now that has led to a situation whereby today, wherever you go, as far as Kaduna is concerned, not people outside Kaduna, people who are in Kaduna now, are vehemently opposed to what the governor is doing.
The governor addresses a group of youths that seem to be in support of his administration's decision.
Anyone that gets his or her landed property from the government with proper documents will be compensated.
About 93 private buildings allegedly to have been illegally erected within the government secondary school premises in Zaria were demolished by the Kaduna State Urban Development Authority, while over 700 others, including shops, hotels and worship centers, have been marked for demolition, also in Zaria and the state capital. With this development, the printers are asking that government reconsiders its decision in order not to render them jobless.
Now joining us via Skype on News Across Nigeria is the Senior Special Advisor to the Kaduna State Governor, Mr. Samuel Arawan, who is going to be giving us some information on what's going on exactly. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
If it is so that the land belongs to the government, why did they let them build on it in the first place?
First and foremost, I want to correct you to understand the true picture. What Kaduna State Government is doing is not a demolition exercise. Instead, what Kaduna State Government is doing is recovery of land belonging to schools and hospitals of Kaduna State Government.
It's demolition of illegally constructed structures. That's what it is. That's what we mean by demolition. So it's a demolition, but you're saying that it belongs to the government, so it's legal.
What I still would want to correct you. What Kaduna State Government is doing is not demolition. Government is only recovering lands where people have encroached into lands belonging to government schools and hospitals. But it is important for you to understand the background of the whole issue. In Kaduna State, there are over 8 million people in Kaduna. What we have in the payroll of Kaduna State Government as medical doctors is less than 160. 2 of every 10 women that goes to maternity wards in Kaduna dies. You may also wish to understand that virtually all the 30 hospitals, general hospitals belonging to Kaduna State Government, have less than 20 or 30% of what is expected of a hospital. If I take you back to the education sector, Kaduna State used to have a robust and well-standard education sector in the state. But now, as we speak, it has come to an extent where people have encroached into lands belonging to schools. You see houses side by side with hostels. You see residents who have encroached into the land using the same gate or entry point into the schools. The schools were no longer conducive for the purpose for which they were established, and so on and so forth. So what Kaduna State decided to do is to say that from now we are going on a land recovery exercise of our schools and hospitals. And if you listen to the clip that was played in your studio, what the governor was saying is this: if all of these people can come up with evidence of a certificate of occupancy and approved building plan in schools and hospitals, government can come up with a compensation process. But as we speak,
let me ask you that now. Let me ask you this now. Let me jump in now, Mr. Aruwan. Some of those owners of those shops, they were displaying some certificates, as it were, that allowed them to build on that property. Are you aware of that? And back to my first question, which you did not answer, which was that if it is so, that it's all government land meant for schools and hospitals, why did they let them build in the first place?
Excuse me, what I will want you to understand is this. Land, in the executive governor or a governor of a state is the sole personality that signs certificate of occupancy. What they are displaying to you, or what they are displaying, is not certificate of occupancy. It is also not approved building plan. There is no way that government would approve a building of a brothel, or government will approve a building of a business place right inside schools. I will give you an example of what happened recently in one of the schools along Maiduguri Road, where the printers habit, so to say. We have a case of a primary school pupil who in the morning picked a used condom in the school, and he was blowing a condom in the name of the balloon. This is totally unacceptable. Government cannot fold its arms and watch our education sector being contaminated or adulterated with so many attitudes that are contrary to our way of life, that are contrary to our belief. What we are trying to do is very simple. We are not on a demolition exercise. We are only recovering land that originally belonged to the people and government of Kaduna State.
And that is exactly where that's where we'll jump in. I will thank you. Well, thank you very much. We've run out of time. That is Mr. Samuel Aruwan, the Senior Special Advisor to the Kaduna State Governor. And he was telling us in basic terms, semantics really, that the demolition that we saw was not a demolition, as it were. It was a recovery of land that belonged to the government. And with that story from the northern part of the country, this edition of News Across Nigeria comes to a close. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay. Please do join us again.